Real MILFs 12-pack erotica bundle, books 1 through 12, Cougar Erotica. Written by Tori Westwood. Narrated by Leigh Greene. MILF's Pride. Real MILFs 1. Paul had wanted to become a masseur for as long as I'd known him. It was on vacation when he was younger that he got the idea. Seeing a stranger get a massage in Bali and witnessing the joy and bliss that it gave the woman. He hoped to be able to do the same for others. Paul was an angel like that. I guess that's why I liked him so much. I let him stay in my flat pretty cheaply, just because I liked having him around. All he wanted to do was make people happy, and that fateful day, he did much more than that with me. He was 19 when he qualified, and he'd rushed up to me to tell me the good news. "Jenny," he cried, careening into the kitchen in black shorts and a white polo shirt. "It came!" He held the certificate aloft as I walked over to him. I could scarcely keep my smile on my face. I was so happy for him. "Congratulations, honey. I knew you could do it," I said, pulling him close to my motherly figure and hugging him tight to my sweater. I liked to wear it around the house, but had taken to coupling it with these loose-fitting shorts. I wasn't going to win a fashion show anytime soon. He rubbed my back as we hugged, and even that felt incredible. I'd always known there was magic in those hands. "Thanks, Jenny. It feels really good, you know." "Oh, I bet," I said, taking a step back and looking him up and down. Paul had become quite the man in what felt like such a short space of time. He was tall and athletic, with clean features and shaggy blonde hair. Some of my girlfriends often talked about the things they'd do to him, and I had to constantly remind them that he was mine. I'd never really thought of him sexually, or at least not consciously, but that day it all came flooding from me in a tremendous release, and I wound up doing something very naughty indeed. "So many things to do," Paul said, his eyes wandering as he envisioned his new career flourishing. "I can think of one thing you need to do first," I said, smiling at him as I dried the dishes. "What's that?" "Treat your landlady to a massage," I laughed. "What better person to do your first qualified massage on?" He smiled and thought for a moment. "Sure," he said after a brief hesitation. "I'd love to." I threw the dishcloth down on the table and clapped my hands. "Let's do it," I said with a pang of excitement. I hadn't had a massage in so long. "Okay, come on," he said. Paul had his own massage room in the flat that he'd treated himself to, slowly accumulating items in there every birthday or Christmas that he would eventually move into his own practice. It had turned into quite the professional setup. I walked with him through the lounge, smiling as I watched the back of him guiding me towards a blissful rub-down. "After you," he said, opening the door and letting me in. In the room, his small fountain lapped water through it in relaxing waves, and soft panpipe music could be heard coming from a hidden source. "What kind of massage would you like?" he asked, cracking his fingers with a smile. I thought, like a child in a sweet shop. "Back massage?" "Your wish is my command," he smiled. "Take off your top and jump up here." He said the words so innocently, I stared at him a while, wondering if he'd realized what he'd asked of me. But when nothing came, I figured I'd do as he said. I pulled my red sweater over my head, with only my bra now between my full tits and my Paul's gaze. He was tending to some of his oils, but when he turned, I noticed him do a double take as he looked down at my sizable charms. He cleared his throat. "Hop up on the table and put your face in the hole," he said, trying to maintain his professionalism. I did as instructed, but the quick movements were causing my breasts to sway in all sorts of ways on my chest. Paul looked for a moment, and as a devilish smirk began to appear on his face, he turned back to his table of oils and began selecting one. I settled into the table now, positioning my face on the hole like he'd said and awaiting his first touch. Paul said nothing as his warm, oiled hands began to work my shoulders. Almost in an instant, I let out a long, heavy sigh, and I could feel the tension lift from
Sample complete. Ready to continue?